Today we're going to be talking about the number one and really I almost think only technical indicator you need to be using as a new short-term trader, and then also a scan that implements that criteria and that technical indicator to help you find the best afternoon setups. All right, everyone, before we get started, be sure to like, share, subscribe, and ring that bell if you're on YouTube to be notified as soon as we drop a new video. All right, that being said, I am lead trainer with StocksToTrade, Tim Bohen. Today I want to talk about Vwap, volume weighted average price. Okay, first I'm going to give you a little bit of a detail of what it is, then I'm going to tell you why we care, then we're going to go into a scan and a setup that I want you looking for every single afternoon. Okay, real quick, Vwap, as we call it, VWAP, it's an acronym that's short for volume weighted average price. And, basically the way I look at it is, this is the way I explain it, is it's an amalgamation, okay, a combination of price and volume. And listen, there's a lot of people that say, and I tend to agree, that price and volume are all that really matters. I mean, ultimately, you can add all these crazy indicators, Keltner bands, Bollinger bands, moving average, Ikamocho cloud, RSI, there may be thousands of technical indicators. I know there's at least hundreds, but ultimately, only price matters, price and volume, because remember, what is the stock market? The stock market is a market. What matters about any market? I don't care if it's apples or used cars or lumber, as we're seeing right now. It's supply and demand. And if there's more demand, then that creates more buyers, which is your volume, and that pushes the price higher, and that's your price action that you're looking for. And ultimately, we're looking to go into stocks that have great volume, great demand, okay? That's that demand, with limited supply, which because again, the more demand and the lower the supply, when the volume goes up, what happens to the price? It's going to explode. Just simple, basic economics you probably learned about in middle school, or I hope at least in high school, hopefully. But it's that invisible hand, as Adam Smith would say, of supply and demand. Okay. Now what Vwap is doing is combining price action and volume to give us an indicator of whether or not a stock is currently bullish or is it bearish. Is the trend to the upside? Now, as always, nothing's guaranteed, but is the trend to the upside, or is the stock trending lower, and then that becomes a potential short or just an avoid? That's what we look for. Most of you, I'm guessing, are long biased. You're new traders. Maybe you don't even have a margin account, so you're not really looking to short stocks. So you're looking for two things. You're looking for something to buy, something to go long, to potentially sell higher, obviously, or you're looking for stuff to avoid. In trading, you're trying to minimize your losses. And if you can stay out of a stock that's trending lower, that's just going to take away your gains, well, that's a plus. I always say that, I'd rather have a break-even day than a losing day anytime. If I can avoid a poor setup and not lose money that day, hey, it's kind of like a tie. If you're playing a sport, I'll always take a tie over a loss. Ultimately we want to win, but I'll take a tie too. So that's where we see volume weighted average price, and any stock that's above Vwap, like CTXR right now, is a bullish stock. Okay, the trend is currently looking like this stock could spike into the afternoon. So that's what we're looking at on this scan. You can see we've got several stocks that are whittled down. I've only got 2 or 3 stocks showing up on this scan, which is ideal. Okay, listen, if you're running a scan that's giving you 500 or 50 or 20 stocks, it's not doing you any good. The whole point of a scan is to, there's 16,000 publicly traded tickers out there, roughly. The whole point of a scan is to get you down to a manageable number that you can actually trade that day. Actually, Pet's showing up, another new one. I'll run you through. But interesting, just looking for, I can't help Geez, yeah, look beautiful. So anyway, pets showed up. Look at that move after that break of last night's highs. Wow. So anyway, so that's why we want to run a scan. We want to get down to a manageable number of stocks. So now let me explain what we're looking for. And ultimately, I think StocksToTrade is the best way to build scans. I love our block-based nomenclature, I guess maybe that's the right term. But anyway, it's a methodology where you can kind of visually see with these code blocks, and you're not actually coding, because I used to use some old screener packages where you actually had to write code, and I'm not a programmer, okay? I'm tech savvy, but I'm no programmer. So I love the way it's much more visual, and I think it's easier to use. So what I look for, I'm mostly a low price stock trader, and if you're a new trader with a small account, you should be a low price stock trader as well. So I look for stocks that are greater than or equal to $1. I'm not a real penny stock guy. I'm not against true penny stocks. Just, I've never really found they work for me. So you could take that down to a penny. I mean, we saw there was a thousandth of a penny stock that was a huge mover today. You could ratchet that down to what level you want to use, but I don't like to look for stuff less than $1. Then I look for stocks less than or equal to $20. That is because the lower price stocks make the bigger moves. Not that a $25 or a $50 stock, not that it can never move higher, but it's just less likely because the higher price stocks attract fewer degenerate day traders. It's just, we are attracted. You're probably watching this video because you're attracted to low price stocks because of the big potential moves. So $20, my threshold. Next thing I'm looking for is only stocks that are up more than 10% on the day, because what I want to find is that chart pattern. And I'm gonna hit the whiteboard, but you'll see this in my ebook as well. You can go in the description, top 10 trading patterns you need to know. It's $20. I think listen, I obviously wrote it, but man, if you don't get $20 worth of value out of this ebook, but anyway, so what we want to see is big gainers on the day. So I'm looking for that stock that spiked big early, ideally on news. So that's denoting this left side of the green is the stock price, yellow is VWAP. So I want to see that big move that attracts buyers, it attracts momentum, it attracts the news, it attracts Twitter, it attracts chat rooms. Everyone loves big gainers because that's where the money gets made. It attracts short sellers even, okay? So I'm looking for stocks that are up at least 10%. Then I need greater than 1 million shares of volume, okay? Actually, any more, that's probably on the low side. That's a criteria I used to use years ago. Now that we're in the post-2020 world, that could probably be 10 million. That would be the one thing I would say. If you start running this scan and you are getting too many matches, like say you're getting 10 or 15, ratchet up your volume. Crank that volume up to a minimum of 10 million. I would say, look at the one CTXR is a stock I'm going to talk about in a minute, 20 million shares traded at noon. So that would be the one criteria that you would tweak if you're getting too many matches. Then next, what I'm looking for, and this is where I like to say the magic happens, okay? What I'm looking for is a stock that is greater than or equal to or less than or equal to VWAP by 2%. So that's given me like a 4% range, and it's giving me those stocks that I say are hugging VWAP, okay? So if you're on pre-market prep every morning, 8:30 Eastern, YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, okay? 8:30 Eastern, free, live every day. I've been live over a year and a half now, 300 plus trading days. I'm going to tell you, look for that afternoon VWAP hugging action. I always do the hand, broke the brackets on the hands, but that's that idea of a stock banging up and down around VWAP. What that's telling me is buyers are in control, shorts are timid, and if this stock breaks into the afternoon, there's a very high likelihood it's going to continue higher. So let's jump to CTXR, that stock I mentioned that's on scan, currently pulling back to VWAP, which is exactly what I want. Now I'm hoping, we're doing this real time. We'll see how this plays out. And actually, you can look this up. So I'm recording June 15th, 2021. The ticker is CTXR. Let's see how this thing does into the afternoon. But what we want to see is exactly what I already drew. We're going to hope. Now, I know hope isn't a strategy, but we're going to plan for. Okay, I hate to use the term hope. So what I'm hoping, what I'm planning for, nice one, Tim, really dropped the ball there, is that this pullback right now gets supported. So again, green line is price, yellow is VWAP. Then I don't mind if it continues to pull back to VWAP into the afternoon. But once it starts to break back towards that high day, that 325 area, that is that VWAP hold, high a day break. You hear me talk about all the time. That's your entry. You take that 325 entry. Currently, stock is at 305 on VWAP. That's your risk. Remember, if you're buying a stock with no stop, you're not trading, you're gambling, you're hoping. Okay. So at this point, you're risking 20 cents a share. I would look for that 3-to-1 risk to reward we talk about all the time. My goal would be 50, 60 cents of upside. So we would like to see this stock say break back to that 375 area. We always jump to the 52-week chart. That would be a breakout for this ticker. There's a good chance that this could get there considering the volume. Again, we're at 20 million shares right now. If it makes the move, it could definitely get there. So now you can see again, I own real time. That's the beauty of StocksToTrade scanners. Real time, 2-3 stocks, all the same idea, all the same chart pattern, all setting up into the afternoon. And as always, if the high day does not break, so if that level doesn't move, it becomes a no-go, as I like to call it, and you stay safe, okay? And maybe you go home with that tie, okay? So you get ready for the break on CTXR that never comes. Worst case, stock fades lower, breaks VWAP, closes weak. No harm, no foul. You didn't burn a day trade. You didn't take a loss. Understand that I think that is something that never gets talked about. Defense, not losing money, is huge. I mean, because remember, let's say your daily goal is $500. Okay, let's just pick a random number for a small account. If your daily goal is $500 and you're losing 500 on a crappy setup, a not good risk to reward setup, a not a good high probability setup, now you're down 500 today, and then you got to make 1,000 the next day. You got to hit your daily goal just to get back to break even. So don't underestimate the power of defense. Going home flat, taking a tie, it's always better than a loss. And then you can focus on the next day and maximizing your potential for those winners. That being said, I'll give you one more screenshot. You can always back up the video. But again, price 1 to 20, big percent gainers, at least 10%, at least 1 million shares traded, and then above or below 2% of VWAP. All right. Have a great day, everyone. Definitely check out the Steady Trade team. You know, as I say this a lot in these videos, I go really fast. You know, our goal is always to keep these videos as short and as informative as possible. So I talk fast, I click fast. The Steady Trade team, twice a day, every single day, live. I answer every question. I think it's one of the best ways to learn trading. Click the link below. Would love to work with you, and I'll see you on the next video.